Hey guys, my name is Tim. I'm the master mechanic at Zeiten BMW Mobile Services, and if you watched the previous video, you know that I just bought this 2008 BMW X5 with the N52 engine. It's a 3.0 SI, and it doesn't start. It's been sitting. I put the battery in, you push the start button, nothing happens. I have the code for the starter operation, but it's not always an indicator, I would say, but I bet it is the starter. So in this video I'll show you how to replace the starter, and at the same time we'll see will it start or there's deeper issues in here. Let's get to it. So first we start with removing those covers. It's 4 pins. You just turn them, so it's basically unlock all 4 and remove. It's exactly the same on the other side. Now once we got those covers off, I'm gonna remove the air filter box, and for that we're gonna remove this one first. There's 2 pins here. Usually I got none of those, and it's just locked in here. There's 2 pins right here and 1 in the front, but it usually just pops off like this, and then remove it like that. After that, we can of course proceed to remove the air filter box. It will at least give us the view of the starter, because it seems like the previous owner had replaced it. Maybe not. It's really hard to say. Could have been, not necessarily the truth. That's the one clamp, and here in the back there's a mass airflow sensor, so disconnect that. It's a regular BMW connector, so it disconnects real easy, and then you just pop it. Hopefully none of the spiders bite me. Yeah, a lot of spider right here. Alright, so here's what we got. There's also this tube right here. It connects to the air filter box. The clip just pop off, but if it doesn't, that's all you gotta do is remove it like that. So it's real easy, not a big deal. Now I'm gonna proceed removing those covers. Basically half of them are missing. It should be this tall, this one too, and that one too, so all of them broken, but they still held up in place by 2 Torx 25 bolts right here. It's one, and there's another one right next to the both are next to the motor, windshield wiper motor, and there is 2 10 millimeters, one right here in this spot, and the other one right here. Look at the extension. And also, well, there's 2 Torx 25 very visible right there, so remove that as well, and the whole thing comes off. And then we're gonna be removing the this support bar, basically reinforcement bar. It's a 15 millimeter as far as I remember, 2 bolts. Let's just do that. Now I'm gonna remove this intake boot. It goes directly to the throttle body. It has exactly the same clamp like here, but it's facing this way. So you gotta have this 6 millimeter socket in a small range, so that's kind of works the best. It fits right over, and you just can take it off. You don't need to move it much, but I don't even see it here. I mostly feel it because like my hand covers the whole clamp, but you feel when the range gets on the clamp. Yep, a little bit. And now it's movable. Now I can see. Let's do some more. There you go. Okay. Now disconnect this line, of course. Standard BMW, squeeze on top and release. There we go. And now we're gonna be removing this wiring harness. Real straightforward. It's on pins, so you just push it and move it forward. Same goes here. We don't need to. I can't really see. There we go. The other side is off. Some condensation here. Alright. Disconnect everything, the wires, the throttle body. Remove the throttle body. It'll give us access to some other points. Let me see something. Alright, let's remove the throttle body. Now we're gonna remove the throttle body. It's 4 10mm bolts on each corner of it. Pretty straightforward. This will grant us access to the wiring hub. We need to disconnect from the intake manifold in order to remove the intake manifold. And there is also one vacuum line. Well, it's not. It's more of a hardened pipe like those on top. It's from the tank ventilation valve. So removal of the throttle body is important to get the access to all of those components, and once the bolts are out, there we go. That's it. Duty. Right. Okay guys, so there is 2 bolts, Torx 30 on each side of this hub connected to the manifold. The one you can see, it's in the back right there in a bit. This one, I don't even see it from the top. I'm sure you don't see it in the frame as well. So you just gotta feel it. Follow the range. There you go. So I got it on. They're not tough and they're not long, so once you loosen them, you can easily take them out by hand. I think that's it. Yep, there you go. That's the bolt. It's very short and it's Torx 30. The other one is in the back. It's somewhere right around here. Yeah, I can feel it. There you go. You can see it from here, from where I'm standing. So yep, I got it loose. All I need to do, just take it out by hand basically with the socket. Those bolts are basically not important. They don't have any purpose. Like this wiring harness, this wiring hub is not moving at all during the operation of the engine. So it's in case if you drop one, can find one, don't stress too much about it. But the good rule of thumb, put everything back together as you found it. Now we're gonna be disconnecting this pipe right here from the tank ventilation valve. I'll show you how. So here's how you do it. I usually do it. I put one side of the screwdriver, my broken screwdriver, right here at the very bottom. You push and you hold it by other hand, and then I'm not sure if you guys can see, I barely can see the hose. You put it on top and you do basically the same thing. Let me see. Nope, didn't get it. Oh, I see. It's broken here, so it makes it easier. Kind of. There you go. So now this is disconnected. I see it's broken right here in a bit. No big deal, doesn't really matter. Now basically what we did, like, we freed up the whole bottom. The only thing left is disconnect, take the all those bolts and nuts out. It's 11 millimeters, 7 of them. It's three nuts right here in the middle and 4 11 millimeter bolts. But there is also one thing in the back, the same type of connector for this crankcase ventilation hose right here in the back. So I'm gonna be using different tools. I'm gonna be using the pick tools for that. I'll show you which ones. I'm gonna be using those pick tools. It's usually better to have like this 90-degree angled one, so you can push the hose. Like, I'll demonstrate on this one the way it works, because it's really impossible to see over there. So what you want to do is, you see this pin goes right here. This is where it clamps basically. What you want to do is use this tool, kind of push it out like this, and then you hold it with the tension with your hand, and then you use the same. You can even stick your tool in here and leave it, and then you do the same on the other side. But because there is tension, that's basically how it releases. It's really hard to show with holding one in here. And there we go. Let's say, there you go. So, and it releases, and then all you need to do is just take it out. Same goes here. So it's just really hard to show, but there is one pin on top right here, right next to the valve cover, and the other one on the 180 degrees. So you start with the bottom one, you hold the tension of this hose, so you just a little bit push it. Don't break it though, just you need to keep the tension, you don't need to create the tension. And then you push the top one because it's easier to see. So that's how it's done basically. I'll try to go blind here a bit. And you can hear it clicking, so it's in theory it sounds much easier, of course, and you might think that because it takes me 30 seconds it's gonna be the same for you, but not really. So there you go, it's disconnected, not broken, everything's fine. So it's very doable. Just use the technique I showed you before. Now we are ready to remove the intake manifold. Before that, I'll take this Torx 25 bolt for the fuel line out, and that's it. So all the bolts are removed. It's once again, it's 4 11 millimeter bolts like this, and 3 11 millimeter nuts. Now nothing holds the intake manifold, so the only thing left is this power line. Just take it out, and I'm ready to remove the intake manifold. So let's get to it. There's a few more connections at the bottom, should be at least. Yep, you can see right here a few more wires, so you disconnect that. Oh, that's unfortunate, but alright, happens. Disconnect this one and the other one. Let me get the pick tool. Usually not happens like this, but it's okay. We'll put it back together as it's supposed to. There we go. So this disconnected that, and now the only thing left is just get this pipe out of the way. Remember where it goes. It's third gap right here, so it's first, second, third. Alright, it's out, and now let's see, there might be Oh yeah, that's the X5. That's the only X5's thing. On the side of the intake manifold right here, you can find the oxygen sensors. So just remove them from the bracket. Those are already removed, just the wire's been holding it in there. That's just some weird stuff right here going on. So one last thing, oh, it's actually popped out. One last thing that holding it in place, it's this connector for the fuel line. So the way you open it up, it's just like that. And now it's completely out. The intake manifold is out. Now we have access to the starter. Has it been replaced or not? Honestly guys, I can't really tell. It looks bad, but just impossible to tell. Okay, so this starter, has it been replaced? Not, don't know. You see the condition of the car, so it's really impossible to tell. It has oxidation, it has this, that, like whatever. Let's remove the connector first. Well, disconnect your battery, obviously. Mine is basically dead, even though I replaced it with the other one. It's disconnected for now. So what are we gonna use for the rear bolt is 11 millimeter 12 point. That's it. You don't need anything else. You just need to do it properly. So what you gotta do is the long bolt in the back, so you just fit it snug, and that's it. You see? There we go. Goes kind of hard as expected, and now it's loose, kind of loose. Those starter bolts, 11 millimeter will take them out easily. Those are E12s. Aluminum bolts, everyone most likely will tell you, oh, just replace the bolts. There is no reason for that, no need. Of course you can spend $5, but there is no point. Hundreds of starters replaced, thousands I would say by me, once or twice replacing the bolts just because they come with a kit. Like, other than that, there is no reason. Those bolts are fine. They hold starter in place. It doesn't go anywhere if you don't replace them. They don't break, they don't stretch, none of those things. So you want to replace your bolts, fine, do that, but just know that you don't have to. Once it's loose like that, you probably can do it by hand. Yep, let me see. Problem with the X5, it's a tall car. Let's try again. Take your time. This is the long bolt. It's two different bolts in the starter, one long and the other one is like short, half of it. So this one goes on top right there. Take your time, no big deal. Then we're gonna be, that's 13 millimeter. New starters come with the new nut. I always use the old one. It just feels better to me. And after that, all we gotta do is remove another E12 starter bolt, which is right here at the bottom, very visible. There you go. Basically, this is it. There you go. And it's, yeah, it's like 1/3 of this bolt, so two different bolts for the starter. You can't mix them up. This one goes right next to the crankshaft. position sensor down there. The other one goes from the transmission side. So now, ready to remove the starter. Nothing else holds it. There you have it. Is it new? Is it used? It's Bosch. I can see here. It is Bosch. Impossible to tell if it's good or bad. I hope it is. Let's talk a bit about the parts. I'm gonna be using Bosch starter in this repair. I will have the link in the description for the part, so you can order it from us. Make us some money. And this is Bosch new. We sell Bosch new starters. There is also Bosch rebuilt starters. I don't really see the big difference between remanufactured and the new ones regarding the performance, basically, or the lifespan of the starters. Like, it's just the statistics that's not really available to me, since once we replace, rebuild or new, doesn't matter. Just for years people don't come back for this repair, so I assume they all good. AutoZone starters might last you a couple days only, might last you 6 months, might last you a lifetime, but they give a lifetime warranty for Duralast starters. It's just buy them at your own risk. I know sometimes you just don't have a choice. It's a Saturday, you need a car for, let's say, tomorrow, and you got to do it because all the other places are closed. Does it make sense to buy BMW starter? No, not at all. That's the OEM starter, Bosch. That's exactly what the dealer will sell you. Exactly. It's just gonna be not in a Bosch box, it's gonna be in a BMW box. So you want to pay 500 for the starter that costs a couple hundred? Sure, go ahead, get the BMW one. If you need this basically BMW stamps on it. Like, if you look at this starter, like, you can see it says Bosch right here. There's kind of a part number here. I might assume that that's the original starter. Yeah, that's the original starter. Here you go. Here's the difference. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Let me try. You guys can see the BMW logo right here. So here's the BMW logo. Here's Bosch. Let's check if we do have, and here's exactly the same one. And guess what? There is Bosch right here, but there is no BMW logo. It's exactly the same starter. Exactly. So this tells me that's original starter on this BMW, and it has never been replaced. So it gives me a little bit of a hope. So good for me. So I hope, guys, if you have any questions regarding parts, once again, well, listen to what I say. Bosch, rebuild or new, just fine. Duralast, it's a gamble. O'Reilly's, same deal, pretty much. Although O'Reilly's is a little bit better, as far as I know. Others, Vallejo starters, I mean, they are original as well, so those are good. Other than that, don't get the used starter from a low mileage car, let's say. It doesn't make sense. Starters are all about the amount of starts, not the mileage at all. It only works when you start the car, obviously, and after that it just sits there. That's it, nothing else happening. And this is the most demanding unit for the power, so it draws the most power when you start the car. Like, takes a lot. No other system in the car takes that much power as the starter. And as I said, comes with the new bolt and the washer. I'll take the washer, but I lose the bolt. I'll just use, the nut. I'll use the old one. Alright, let's put it on. So it only goes one way. There is no other way around it. I'll put the line right away, and I'll start with the top bolt first. Really hard with the tall cars. There we go. Just put as much as possible this bolt in by hands only, because the bottom one is simple. It's facing this way. It's nothing special about it. There we go. Make sure the starter is flush with the, well, it's still the engine block, so just flush where it goes with the engine block. And the other bolt is right here. So I was able to put it on all the way in from the other side, and this side as well, bolts going in real easy. So hand tight first, and then same 11mm. Alright, that's enough. That's it. Now I'm gonna use the new washer on this power wires. It's a positive, and the old nut. I just like it better. It looks more solid to me. That's why I use it every single time. By the way, it might be another indication that the starter has never been replaced. I'm not sure if I'm the only one doing it, or maybe of course somebody else does it as well. And the last thing, don't forget to plug this in. Without it, nothing will work. Let's put the, well, I'm checking the valves here and the passages, and it really actually looks very clean, but I'll spray some carb cleaner in there just because I think there's gonna be an issue with the fuel supply at first. So I'll do that, and it will clean a little bit. It will burn, like the car's been sitting for a couple of years, so I'll do that, and we'll come back with the installation of the intake manifold. Now we're gonna put the intake manifold back. First thing first, this hose goes to the third passage right here. 1, 2, 3. Right in the middle bolt. Bolt number 4. Point number 2, you gotta remember, this crankcase vent hose goes under the fuel line. That's the other point. And be careful with it. You don't want to break it. You might need to twist the intake manifold. Just as I said, be careful with it. And don't forget your wires right here. I put this one back together. So spiders everywhere. There we go. That's 1. That's 2. Now we're pretty much okay. As usual, things are on the way. There we go. And it sits flush. Just make sure it does. And you didn't pinch anything. Although it's really hard on this one to do, to pinch anything. And right away I would connect this, remember this line at the bottom from the right behind the throttle body. people walk around here. The most common issue people have is forgetting to plug in this line right behind the throttle body. Just do it right away when you install the intake manifold, so you don't forget to do that. There we go. The symptoms of that: a misfire, like heavy misfire, because it's a heavy air leak right there. So if your car has a heavy misfire, well, of course you need to read the hose, but if it hadn't before you started that job and it does now, just redo your steps. You did something wrong. That's it. Let's bolt it on. Don't forget the bracket. It goes like this right here. Yep, not like that. It will go only one way, like this. There we go. And don't forget to plug in another one. Vacuum leak right here in the back. A crankcase vent valve tube. So this one too. Let's put the bolts back on. So once the intake manifold is bolted on, I also clean the throttle body. You can see how clean it is now inside. Don't pay attention to the outside. So it's all good. Do that. Yours probably gonna be dirty as well. Now we can plug in this hose in the back. Just snap it in there, and basically we don't need this to hang around anymore, so I'll just put this one back. And there is a little metal thing in there, so I'll just put it in place. What else we got? This line right here. We'll plug it in later on. The power line. Oh well. The power line goes into its bracket. This one will sit later right here. But before all that, what we gotta do is connect this wire hub back in place. Two Torx 30s, one you see in the back, one you kind of don't. Once again, if you don't put it back on, it's fine, but we will. I would say it might make sense to just take your gloves off for this one, and I definitely start with the back bolt because it's easier. There we have it. Once, don't fully put it on, just leave a little bit of room to wiggle this wiring hub, because you're definitely gonna need it for the other side. I don't see anything, but I can at least feel the hole. Yep. And I can approximate where this bolt would go. Kind of. Let's see, it's somewhere close here. I think I got it. Yep, I got it. Alright, when both of them are in, just make them tight. They're not supposed to be too tight. They don't have any purpose, just holding this wiring hub in place. So, yep, this is all good. Just gonna tighten them a little bit, and we can continue with throttle body installation, which I'll probably not gonna show. It's just 4 bolts. Just don't forget to plug it in. If you don't, once again, you'll have a lot of codes, the misfire, the RPM's not growing, like all of that, and all because you didn't plug it in. That happens. Seen it a lot of times. Alright, this bolt is tight, and the other one Such a good thing when you can see the bolt. Alright, so this is done. Don't forget this. Don't forget this right here. Absolute pressure of the intake manifold sensor. There we go. Now the throttle body, the intake boot, and the map sensor. That's it. So the final thing is installation of the air filter box. Before we do that, obviously connect this line. Alright, we have the map sensor on the air filter box. So it goes here first to the muff. I just want to try it, see what happens, and kind of go from there. Because we also, of course, obviously we need to install those things in here, the plastic and everything, but I just honestly want to try and see if it starts, because the car has been sitting for so long. Hard to diagnose, hard to tell what happened to it. That's the bare minimum what we need to install. Basically, I will definitely cross my fingers. Let's put it down. Okay, before I start this one, I want to put the fuel injector cleaner in there, in the tank, and then we'll try. So here's the moment of truth for the guys who are following what's happening with this, the cheapest X5 on the market right now. As far as the starter replacement procedure goes, well, definitely guys, you got it. Everything you need to know. So now let's see if it at least cranks. That would be a win. Let's see. There you go. There you go. That's a win, fellas. That's a win. And it runs good, actually. Of course you hear this tapping noise, but I mean, come on. The car's been sitting for 2 years. Oil supply is not there, everything, but damn, it runs good. I'm happy. I'm happy now. So here it is, fellas. I hope this video was helpful. This is how you replace the starter on N52 X5. So it applies to 2007 and 2010 models. It's 3.0 SI, 3.0i, xDrive 30i, all of those. It's an N52 engine, so it's exactly the same procedure. On the newer models, it's slightly different, and you need to use slightly different tools. I'll definitely will shoot another video about that specifically. So regarding what happens to this car and the diagnosis and whatnot, if you push the start button and everything lights up, no lights are flickering, it's just everything lights up, but you can hear the power going through the starter, but nothing happens at all. Just don't overthink it. Replace the starter. 95% chance it's gonna be the right call. As you can see here, I didn't know much about the car. I didn't know the story about the car, nothing at all. But just go with your gut, I guess. Well, or don't. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll continue fixing this one up definitely in the next videos. So stay tuned. I hope you guys like it. See you next one.